Hey everybody, I am making my way back onto the YouTube space. I'm going to, well, first of all, before I say anything, hi. Okay, what do I want to do? Do I want to thank first or do I want to quickly summarize? Okay, I'm going to thank first. Thank you to everybody that has supported me through my briefish hiatus. I really, really appreciate your support, and for everybody that gave me a gift, like, I really cannot, I don't have words for how appreciative I am for that. Like, as a freelance journalist, we don't make a lot of money. If you know a journalist, if you know a writer, if you know a staff writer, if you know anybody in the journalism space, it's hard out here financially. All those fun trips that I go on, I let everybody know that those are press trips. Like, it is my job to write about those things. So people, like, that's the perk of the job. People send me to places. But I don't be making a world of money. So thank you so much for helping me to not only like calm down a little bit financially and to pay off that medical bill. And I cried so many happy tears. I cried so much over the past couple of weeks, which also brings me into the update. So, no, before the update, let me, oh my gosh, my whole brain. Before the update, let me quickly summarize for those of you who did not catch the live that I was on or have not seen it. I will be linking it somewhere up here. Trigger warning, just trigger warning. So I was drugged on New Year's, and when I went to the hospital to try and get a drug test to see what was in my system, mind you, I am living in Spain, which means I have Spanish health insurance. I have private health insurance because I am not a resident, I am not a citizen of Spain. But it turns out that if you are drugged in Spain, even if you have health insurance, that is not covered. That is not covered. Anything drug related is not covered in your health insurance, even if that is a crime done against you. So after I got that whopping medical bill, after being like in a very confused daze for over 36 hours. I then went to the police department, who then tried to gaslight me. It was men doing what they do. So yeah, I took a couple of days off to try and get myself settled, find a new normal, still working on that. I will also be looking for a therapist, because one thing about me, I need to talk to somebody. So that is the summary of what has gone on. But there's also some updates that I want to share with you guys, because I think that the updates are the most important part, because it shows the importance of sharing the honest truth of your story as a woman, as a marginalized person, as somebody that has been traumatized because of male violence. Oh, and very quickly, for those of you who have been saying, like, Shayna, like, this is your, like, you just move out of Spain. Just move out of Spain. One, this kind of thing happens everywhere. Two, the person that did this to me isn't even from here. He's British. So this can happen to anybody at any time. It's not a matter of location. The problem is men. Now, let's talk about the next thing. So, I reached out to the consulate, the U.S. consulate. Some people on the live were like, "Oh my God, Shayna!" They like reach out to the consulate. They probably have resources, and they did. So I reached out to the consulate, and they gave me a bunch of resources, including police departments that have on-site English translators, because my Spanish is okay, but my brain is not at the point where I could detail the intricacies of that night and how I'm feeling and trauma in Spanish. So along with giving me a police department, a list of police departments that have on-site English translators, they also gave me a survivor support group, like the information to a survivor support group in Barcelona. Now, survivors for all kinds of things, but basically, like, if you've survived a man, you can come here. So as I was like thinking about going to it, but also trying to like work my way back into going to school, I'm officially back in classes now, but as I was trying to get myself like emotionally settled enough to go back to school, I first things first, when I did eventually go back to school, there is a queer person in my class, non-binary male presenting, they him pronouns, and I was talking to them about like because they've also been going through it in a different space, but we just haven't like really touched base in a while. So we were talking like in our conversation class in Spanish, and then they were like, "Oh yeah, I had a rough New Year's." I was like, "I had a rough New Year's." So I just like very briefly shared about what happened to me in New Year's, and they were like, "Oh my God, the same thing happened to me when I first moved here." And they talked about their experience of trying to navigate the health insurance system as a queer person, and also like it was I don't want to assume it was probably a man that did that to them also. So that's one. These men be attacking anybody and everybody, which is why I say, like, in my personal life, the people that have stood in the gap for me have been women and queer people. Never had a man actually be the answer to a problem and not just be the cause. So that's one. Two, fast forwarding a whole bunch. I was talking to a very good friend of mine who's living in Barcelona, who I did not realize was in a financially abusive relationship. And as I was talking to her about just like a little bit about what's going on in my life and like some of the resources that have been shared with me, she was like, Shayna, I might need to go to that women's support group. And I was like, oh my God, girl, what is going on? So then we had a whole heart to heart, and I was like, oh my God, girl, if you need somebody to go with you, because like, yes, what happened to me is bad. In like the round, yes, I was drugged. Yes, my brain is still like trying to process what is going on. Yes, trauma brain, but also like, once again, okay, I'm still like processing things, so please bear with me. And with this, I think that her situation of financial abuse, as somebody who is also not a resident here, she's also a student here. I'm like, I am 100% down to be your support as you go to this thing. While I'm like, as soon as I get a therapist, I feel like I'll be fine. Like, no, but nothing, none of my things were stolen. I was not sexually assaulted. I was not, like, there was a lot of things that could have made my situation so much worse. She is in the thick of it right now. And she didn't know that there was support out there. She didn't know that, like, because she's not a resident, she didn't even know that there was, like, survivor support groups that she could attend. And if I wasn't honest about what I was going through, sorry, I don't know if you guys can hear the noise in the background. Anyway, like if I wasn't honest about my story and about what I was going through and about the support that I got, she wouldn't even know that there was a possibility for somebody to help her in this terrible situation. When I say us sharing our stories, us being completely honest, what does Ian Van Zant say? Something like the rot gut buck tooth truth, something like that. I don't know. But like us being as honest as possible about the pain, the disappointment, the struggle, the traumas of our realities of navigating men is not just an encouragement to somebody else, but can actually be a lifeline to somebody else. I had no idea that me sharing this would let her know that there's help. So I probably will not be giving more updates about like her situation because we're taking it day by day. But I did want to let you guys know that, one, incredibly grateful for your support. I don't know if you could hear my stomach. I need to eat something. Two, I'm okay. And I'm getting my brain in order again. And three, have a be honest with yourself, with your community, because it could bring people in and let people know that there is a light, even if you don't see a light. Did I know that there was a form of a light? I don't know. Is there a light? Men are terrible and they're everywhere, but like, it's weird. It feels weird to be like, oh, this terrible thing happened to me, and if this terrible thing didn't happen to me, then my friend would be in an even darker place indefinitely. And now she sees a speck of light in a very, very dark cave. So I think that's all that I have for today. When I say be safe out there, I really do mean be safe out there. I adore you guys. Okay, I'll talk to you soon. Bye.